Hey, excited for you to check out this episode with Tad from NWA Daily. They're doing some really big things over there. They've got 40,000 subs. They've been doing it for almost 6 years, so they're far ahead of everyone else. So they got a lot of really interesting insights from Tad about their partnerships, how they have scaled beyond one location. I think they have three now. How they're doing agency work on the side, how they get advertisers from bigger marketing agencies in their community. It's a really great episode. Tad is definitely one of the smarter operators in the space. So excited for you to check this one out. Make sure you also are subscribed to the free newsletter, localmediahq.com. Go subscribe over there. Jump in the free Discord if you're not in there yet. And that's, I think, on the website. Should be able to find it there or in the YouTube links. And also check out our software. We're launching it as we speak, essentially, called Lightbreak, lightbreak.ai, which helps you repurpose your content into beautiful newsletters in under 15 minutes. So if you're spending a lot of time creating newsletters, Lightbreak is going to be for you. All right, on to the show. Hey everyone, TJ Larkin here, and I am with Tad Moore today. He is the operator, I guess, of NWA Daily in Northwest Arkansas, which is a excellent local newsletter publication that's been around for a while. It's really big. They're doing really good stuff over there. So stoked to have you. Thanks for being here, Tad.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Tell me, first thing, what do you call yourself? What's your title?
It's taken on even like a new shape. But whenever I first started, director of operations was the title bestowed on me. So my friends Luke and Daniel actually are the ones who founded NWA Daily, and they started the newsletter kind of into 2020. I initially got tapped just to come on and help with writing and doing content for them. And then that grew into, hey, do you want to come do this full time and run like writing, brand partnerships, et cetera? So they were like, we'll just call you the director of operations. You're going to wear all the hats. And then have since, like lately, as of like just a couple months ago, have shifted into more of like, I just kind of took the title on myself, like, I'll be a strategic advisor. We've hired another guy named Tyler to be the director of operations for the Daily, since we've been trying to launch some other businesses and grow things off of our newsletter here in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, no, that's great because you guys are basically doing really well, doing interesting things. You kind of basically moved up out of just running one to kind of running or managing multiple angles of what you guys are doing in the business, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm excited to dig into some of the things you're doing because some of it I don't even fully know yet, and I'm very excited to hear from you. So especially the real estate stuff. We'll get into that one in a little bit, but yeah, maybe give everybody an overview and it started in 2020. It was started by not you. Where are you guys at in terms of subscribers? How did you kind of get there? You know, was it meta ads? Was it something else? And just kind of the basics of where that brand is at, and maybe also the other brands or how that all works.
Yeah. So late 2020, Luke and Daniel launched NWA Daily. Similar to a lot of like local newsletter kind of origin stories of seeing an opportunity, especially coming out of COVID. So many companies were disconnected, local businesses disconnected, local nonprofits, people looking for things to do. There's also, we're just in a really unique place. I think I often like even point to, I think a huge credit of the success we've seen is just being in Northwest Arkansas. This area is experiencing rapid growth, kind of on track to we're like the metro as a whole is like around 600,000 people right now. People are saying on track to hit 1 million by 2050. So a lot of people moving here looking for ways to get connected. And so we're kind of just like a perfect solution for that. Right now we're at 41,500 subscribers.
Nice.
Seat open rate like 54%, click through close to 7%. So just kind of some of those metrics that have been holding. And most of our growth has been, I would say we're probably weighted more organic growth than Meta. We definitely have gone through seasons where we've turned on Meta ads. Like right now they're on and we're growing that way. But have tried to push through like what are ways we can either do collaborations with other people, utilizing some of Beehive's tools like referrals and recommendations. It's a little bit harder whenever you're localized and you have to find like who are the other people in my region that are even on this platform, but have one in particular, like there's we cover the whole region with Northwest Arkansas, which is kind of made up of 4 main towns and then several like small suburbs. There's another guy running Bentonville Bulletin, Sam Hoisington. He's He's honestly another great person you ought to reach out to about local media.
Yeah.
But he's specific to just Bentonville, one of the towns, headquarters of Walmart. It's kind of one of our main things. And so we've been able to draft off of each other, share ideas, share each other's content. And it's been a really healthy relationship. Even though some people would like view us as like, oh, wouldn't you guys be competing? And it's like, no, it's actually like perfect of like us having the full region approach, him having the unique town approach. So, but leveraging social media, a lot of subscribers have come if we've seen like a post repurposing things from newsletter on Facebook, Instagram, and then giveaways, things like that, that have enabled us to just kind of grow mostly organic. Our referral program hasn't been like noteworthy. It's definitely like running. We've done giveaways. Something we're trying right now that I'm excited to see if we get more leverage on is instead of doing the giveaways like 5 referrals you get the sticker, discount code, things of that nature, have shifted to we're in like second month of it, but if you refer, like for every referred reader that comes through the referral channel that we can confirm, we'll donate $1 to a local nonprofit. And so we've kind of highlighted a specific nonprofit of the month, hoping that they'll even share it too. Of like, hey, if you go use our referral code, then that will do that. So getting to kind of leverage some of their networks. And it's kind of been a more fun of like, oh, I'd rather give $1 to the food bank than Meta, you know, so I like it. Put another $1 in Zuck's pocket. So we'll see how that goes. That's been just like a fun, let's try it and see if we get any leverage with it. We're only a month too, so no serious data to confirm or.
Well, I like it in terms of creativity, thinking outside the box, trying to, you know, connect with other local organizations. There's just a lot of connection there that seems really cool. That's great. Just because I don't even think I understand yet, I guess kind of your guys' overarching brand, what other locations you have, and then maybe is there a plan to do more on your own? I know we can also get into how you guys are helping other people do this, but what about for your guys yourselves? What do you already have and what's the plan?
Yeah. So right around the time that I came on as director of NWA Daily, Luke and Daniel partnered with some folks in Tulsa, Little Rock, and Kansas City, kind of under the banner of Around Town Media. So I know you've had Nick Hegeman on, who runs KC Daily. Yep. And so we kind of are like sister newsletters. And then have since then, they have sold Tulsa Daily, struggled to like reach like just good momentum there. I think what worked here was even just being able to identify, and what I think what's working well in Kansas City with KC Daily is just when you have someone who can step into the operator role and both write and do the brand partnerships, I think it just, rather than like splitting tasks between that, even though like we've had a team of 3 and when they brought me on, I was doing most of it, but then able to step in and help with things that were outside of my skill set. Like Daniel's always been the person, like he's just the numbers guy of like, he understands the cost per acquisition when we're doing the meta ads, how to like dial that in. Luke, just like kind of his vast network and being able to help like with the building proposals and things of that nature. But the day-to-day operations, if you have someone in place that can do the content well and manage the relationships with ad partners, and that's why I think like Kansas City's doing really well. And we've shifted focus. And Little Rock's just also like the place matters too. Like Little Rock's a unique market. I think it's been Sarah Ann who's running that newsletter. It's just I don't know. They haven't taken to that as a medium like Northwest Arkansas has. And so even just being within our state, just I could get into the different nuances and personalities of Northwest Arkansas, Little Rock. They're weird.
I can imagine the Northwest Arkansas, let's say I've never been there, of course, but is more, again, let's call it, I don't know if tech savvy is the right word, but more, what is the wording for, you know what we're saying?
It was like new ideas, like the people are excited about the growth. And like, I mean, even I feel like I grew up here. I'm like a lifetime resident of this place, and like the change has been hard. And yet there's still a sense of excitement of like, I think there's people trying to grow well, whereas Little Rock's super established. There's like the legacy companies that are in place. People don't take the new things as fast as Northwest Arkansas, which I think just has that, like Walmart's not that old, and it's like Fortune 1, you know, and like so many other companies. So a lot of talent, a lot of young ideas are here. It's more primed for the growth. So I think
and I think new people is huge too. You know, that's actually why I started this, because I'm in Northwest Austin area, which is basically the fastest growing area. And so it's like all these new people coming in, they need to know what's going on. That's kind of why I started here anyway. So that makes a lot of sense.
For sure. I
Yeah.
think that's a huge ingredient of like, if you have a fast growing area, people moving, looking for things to do, the local newsletter is such a valuable resource for them. So
Yeah.
a good kind of business to be in.
Yeah. 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 No, that's awesome. So what about doing it for others or other or plans, things that you're going to do? Maybe we can get into the real estate stuff in a second. Or
Yeah.
you can just mention that. But like, where are you guys at with doing it for others and launching anything else on your own?
Yes, I'll try to maybe I might be able to tackle both at the same
Yeah.
time just because they've kind of both emerged. So, as I was operating NWA Daily, would just get reached out to by friends, people in the area who are like, "Oh, you're doing newsletter stuff. Can you help me with mine?" Or like, "Can you step in? I'm looking for a ghostwriter for this project." And you just kind of are becoming known as like Tad does writing, and so getting invited into opportunities to do that for other people, and then uh, even just like create like that was just a fun like element of this. I think that I didn't expect of like something about writing online and being more visible in your community
Mm.
as someone who likes to help people with that kind of thing. Just some of the opportunities that fell in my lap have been wild. Of like an agency reaching out of like, hey, we're running a newsletter for this like nationally recognized like former NFL player. Do you want to help us with that? And it's like, wait, really? Like that's cool. And so like, um, it's just been funny some of the opportunities that have landed just because of uh, being known in the community as someone that helps write stuff.
Hmm.
And so last summer, I had a couple of those opportunities kind of hit at the same time, got me thinking, well, I wonder what it would look like to pursue that. I'd just been doing that kind of on the side as my own thing in addition to NWA Daily. Um, we had hired Tyler to step in and backfill me over the summer while I took a few weeks off because we had a kid. And as I came back, I was like, this is kind of like maybe perfect timing. Like Tyler's perfect guy to pass the torch to. He's trusted. He's a good writer. He's like great at handling the relationships. It would make me feel better passing the torch to someone that I know can do it. And then what if we launched this new business, which we've named Skipstone Group, and just helping other people leverage email newsletters as a way that. And so we've worked with some local brands or like nonprofits that run like one's like a creative nonprofit that serves artists in the region and getting to write different, like sometimes it's short-term projects of like, we'll help design your welcome sequence, or we'll do like educational email courses, build your like lead funnel out, others it's managing and like we're ghostwriting their weekly newsletter and running it for them. And so we've launched that, and that's kind of still in early stages of working with a few clients. It's even turned into finding other people's like realizing like some people need more of the help just kind of in the whole marketing funnel. They're like, we
Hmm.
actually need more help with like attention and social writing than we do our nurturing newsletter. So we're able to kind of slide in and apply what we've learned doing NWA Daily to serve them. It's been really fun when it is a local brand, and if we can convince them to also like shift over and use Beehive's platform, because then
Yeah.
the recommendations feature has just
Mm.
exploded growth of that. Of like, as soon as someone signs up for NWA Daily, they're also like, hey, here's the 4 newsletters, and if we happen to be working with one of them, maybe we're like slotting them up a little bit higher in the recommendations for a month or two
Hmm.
to help speed up some of their growth and just find that overlapping audiences really well. And some of that just came about because I had started like a local history blog kind of on the side that I've done a terrible job keeping up with consistently. But I got logged in the other day and I was like, I think I had like 500 subscribers like last time I wrote this, like just from dropping stuff in NWA Daily. And just by nature of it being in our recommendations over the
Hmm.
last year, it's almost up to 2,000 subscribers, like
Wow.
with zero effort.
Yeah.
So like, well, shoot, I need to start writing that and nurturing it better, find someone to help me write it.
Hmm.
Uh, but just noticing those little things as we were doing NWA Day, I was like, we could really serve other people well in the community who are trying to nurture their own audiences. At the same time we did that, so I'll kind of move into the real estate piece now. Um, right as I was like talking to Luke and Daniel, hey, what would it look like for us to take what's been my side gig, launch it into its own separate business adjacent to NWA Daily? Um, they had been talking to a friend that we had made just over the years doing NWA Daily named Patrick, who I know you've even talked about like just like the huge opportunity for like events, like
Yeah.
real like in person in real life events.
Hmm.
Patrick's like crushing that in Northwest Arkansas, like one of the best. He had started a group called Patio Social, and they would rotate to different bars and restaurants that had
Hmm.
outdoor patios, gather people, get sponsors for it. He was a realtor, or he's a realtor, and he was just using that not really to market his own real estate. He just wanted to help foster community,
Hmm.
and he started even thinking I might just launch entirely into that because he was getting to such a place of people sponsoring it. His Facebook group had grown really big, just a really kind of bought in community to it. that like synced up of him thinking maybe I'm going to step away from the real estate group that I'm doing right now. And we had thrown out the idea just kind of casually one time. I was like, if you ever want to start something, we would love to try it. I'm going to kind of go back in the timeline now of we had noticed a trend. We tried to just do like an engagement piece each week called House Hunch, where we would pick like a Zillow listing and just, hey, guess the price of this off of like one photo, and see if you can guess. We'd give like 4 options. Very quickly became like the most clicked on item in the newsletter every day, like every single time, like huge engagement. We were like, okay, that's fun. Let's keep doing that. Let's get our click rate up. And then we were like, well, I wonder if we could get like a realtor to sponsor it and like put one of their listings in there and drive some traffic to their listing. And after like a month or 2 of prospecting people's interest in that, finally got a real estate group, and they were like super excited. They're like, we'll book out the whole rest of the year. So we're like, oh, okay, cool. And then just kind of kicking ideas around one day, like, well, what if, like, I wonder if we could get like, we would get a lot more out of that if we were the one selling the house, or if we could get commission, but none of us are realtors. None of us want to go through getting our real estate licenses. So we actually have like a little section on our whiteboard over here of just like dumb ideas, and we at one point we just wrote real estate. Like we don't know, but there's an opportunity there. And so pitched that idea out to Patrick of like, hey, if you'd ever want to start your own like real estate group, let us know. Like we'd maybe partner with you on it. And then, so while I was on paternity leave, him and Luke reconnected over the idea. We're like, let's try it. Like, let's do this. So we've launched Front Porch Real Estate, and NWA Daily has equity in that business. Front Porch is running like kind of, we're still in building phase, bringing on realtors and agents for that business. But the opportunity is really cool of like, eventually we'll just exclusively advertise our own real estate business through NWA Daily. Growing a real estate centric newsletter on the back of our audience has been a huge part of growing Front Porch, just to gather that. Even seeing, like, we ran a poll in NWA Daily a couple weeks back of like, how long have you lived in the area? And one of the options was, I don't, but I'm thinking about moving in the next 6 months. And so then it's like, all right, well, now we're funneling that directly into a welcome, like a separate welcome flow of, hey, here's some cool resources for you as you're thinking about moving to the area. We're so excited to have you like join our community. Want to introduce you to our realtor friends, and just kind of trying to funnel them through that. So just recognizing all of those opportunities over the last 2 years has been really fun. I think that's even a common theme of other folks that I've listened to on the podcast, of just like owning an audience, seeing it grow, seeing the opportunities, seeing the hunger for certain topics, and then be like, what can we do? And thankfully, I think we're like fortunate, like just some key opportunities, really some key people have like, we've crossed paths. We've been able to like put together some really cool partnerships.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
That was like a huge monologue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's like, yeah, it's a lot of things that I think about a lot. You're doing and are happening, right? You mentioned at the beginning how opportunities just come to you that you would have never had, right? I mean, this is another huge thing that I talk about all the time. That's what happens. You put yourself out there as a smart, interesting person doing interesting things. Things come to you, right? And then real estate being a huge one. I mean, there's so many angles to take that, but just real quick, I want to clarify. So you're talking about would you say Front Porch Real Estate? That's a brokerage? That's like, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so Patrick came on and he started his own brokerage.
Okay. And that's what you own, or the business.
Yeah. So that's what NWA Daily has ownership in, that brokerage, which is now in the process of hiring agents to grow out its own.
But how? Because I think another big play here, and there's even multiple angles of this play, of a real estate centric newsletter, like separate from NWA Daily. So, sorry, are you doing that at all? Is there any sort of separate real estate only newsletter?
Yes. Yeah. So we actually, Front Porch Real Estate, we actually built our first website for the firm, like for the brokerage on Beehive. And we were like, let's almost grow it as a newsletter business. It's as its own, as a way to grow an audience of people, help them facilitate trust with Patrick and the realtor team.
Yes.
And so, we're working on building out a new website that just looks more professional than what we were capable of doing ourselves on Beehive. And yet we will continue to share like a weekly newsletter with, whether it's real estate trends, off market listings. But that, I mean, even already I mentioned like the value of the recommendations tool. I think we've already grown that audience. Let me pull it up really quick to like just from NWA Daily alone, we've been able to refer 300 subscribers over the last like 4 months. And it's like total list size is just under 2,000 people. So already kind of like an audience that we can do a direct connection with, run polls.
Mm-hmm.
Are you thinking about selling soon?
Mm-hmm.
And so just the community and like the direct to audience connection that we have, I think is going to be a huge win as that starts to pick up, take on more agents, more listings, and be able to even being able to share that with potential agents wanting to come join the brokerage of
Mm-hmm.
this is a resource, like, and not just Front Porch, but NWA Daily. Like we have this like huge audience that we can leverage to help you sell your listings and advertise your services, which hopefully will make that a really competitive edge to grow. Because there's so many other really great brokerages that we've even worked with and partnered with over the years, and each of them kind of have one of their competitive edges. We're hoping that this will be ours.
Yeah, no, this is really interesting. Let me just, because I do find this so fascinating. I did talk to somebody pretty successful and high up here in Austin about this, and they thought it was a good idea. I'm still working on it. Again, I'm happy to, some of this stuff is so difficult. It's like, it doesn't matter if people know about it, or is somebody going to actually do it and do it well? It's probably unlikely, but I think there's a play for having a real estate focused brand for the real estate industry, like a B2B play.
Yeah.
So, it's like, that's why I said, when you get into real estate, it's like, well, there's the B2C play of who's interested in real estate as like a consumer.
Right.
And then there's hey, this is for anything related to real estate in Northwest Arkansas for people who make money in real estate, whether you're an investor, an agent, a developer, flipper, whatever other random businesses are involved in real estate. I feel like there's a play there to build again, it needs to be its own thing, not a part of a brokerage or something, right? Like I would say the group that I talked to about this, real estate, unfortunately, is kind of known for, let's just say, self-promotion, right? They're so like the idea that I have here about this is not self-promotion, right? It's like you're just building the general brand. And I think that would be difficult for the people that I talk to, that they would probably struggle with not self-promotion, which could destroy a concept like that if people just feel like you're just doing it to sell them.
Which is such a fine line. We actually, even like with Front Porch, we took the angle of let's try to be a little more B2C with it, because there is a really quality B2B real estate newsletter in Northwest Arkansas that's like, it's called NWA Look. They do a phenomenal job.
I'll have to check that out.
It's incredible.
Okay.
Like it's and they've made a very hard distinction of like it's owned by an owner of a different brokerage, and he made a really clear line of like, I don't want to make this about our brokerage, because I don't want people to see it and think that. And they've done a really great job just on content with that. Yeah. It's been a really trustworthy resource for realtors. I think they've got a huge opportunity more in that. So we're almost like we're going to try the B2C thing, see if that works, because they're just so far ahead in that lane.
Interesting.
But their team that does that is I think they do a great job just in that real estate one. Be a good model for people to look at.
I mean, totally. I thought not that I thought I invented it, but like this is an interesting concept that has a lot of potential if people do it right. And so I didn't know anybody was doing it right. So I'm going to dig into that. So thanks for letting me know.
Absolutely.
Another thing you mentioned that I think a lot of people are really excited about, I've talked about it a bunch on the show, but I'm curious what you guys are doing, is events, right? In person. You kind of mentioned it a little bit. I mean, this is one of those things where just in the last month, 2 months, like the amount of non-local, I'm not talking about local media, just like in the world, people talking about the value of in-person events, even just from a business perspective, is just sky high. It's like multiple times a day on how, and it makes sense, right? The whole world wants to get back and connect. We've had 20 plus years of social media disconnection. COVID made it extreme. And I think, and then now AI is going to just be even worse and crazier. So the value of in-person, which again, we as local media people have the ability to facilitate really well. It's just crazy exciting. And you guys being quite large compared to most people who I would have on, how are you guys thinking about that? Are you doing anything there yet? Do you have any plans for any unique ideas or strategies?
Yeah, we've really like barely dipped our toes in it, to be honest. We last year we did our first in-person event, and we partnered. There's a nonprofit called Startup Junkie. They resource startups. They do a really cool event every year called Startup Crawl, where they get a bunch of local breweries together and have like different startup small businesses run booths, so you can walk around and talk to people.
This is just in your area, or is that now?
Yeah, so it's just I think I don't know if they're part of like a national group. They've hosted like some like larger like even like global startup like competition. Like I think they did like a qualifier round for like one of the global entrepreneur pitch contests or something like that. But I think it's just local. But we partnered with them to do a pitch contest, and we had people come,
Mhm.
and so to be honest, some of it was like us sort of like scoping
Yeah,
of like, is anybody doing a cool business that it would make sense for us to come along and say, hey,
I love it.
can we be like your advertiser, and would you be interested in like a more deeper business partnership? Um, and so that was our first kind of like test of doing an event. We got sponsors for the event. It was really fun. We hosted it at one of the local theaters that has a really cool space. And then we're planning on trying to do something like that again, probably this year. But the only other like events we've done, we worked events like doing more um, like smaller, like selective events with some of our advertising partners. So we put together one of our like larger annual packages for the year, like in a like an industry exclusive. Part of the package was we'll do a networking event at either your location or like a location of your choice, and you invite people. We'll share it with our advertiser network,
Mhm.
kind of as a way to bring business leaders together. And so that's kind of like a chase a rabbit for a second. I started like a side newsletter to NWA Daily called the NWA Daily Pulse. And I just send it out monthly to anyone who's ever inquired about advertising, just as
Oh,
a way
yep.
to keep up with them as like
Mhm.
a, hey, we're doing a deal on ads as we come to the end of the year, like quarter three, we got this package. I always share like here's answers to all the polls we ran from the last month if it maybe sparks a marketing idea for your team, and just show what the community's interested in. And so we were kind of like maybe we could leverage that as a way to bring in a lot of those are all decision makers, business owners, small business
Mhm.
owners, big and small. If we bring them to this advertiser, it might connect some good B2B connections. So that's been the only other piece we've done. And then we jumped on actually because I saw you talk about it in your newsletter
Yeah.
of the dinner
The
club,
dinner.
and
Yeah.
we've been running that with the dinner IO team, and I think we've done four now.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, our first was in November,
Okay.
and it's been interesting. Yeah, it's been cool. Like, I think a lot of people, like some people have loved it, and they're
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, I'm going to keep doing this." Some people have been like, "Nah, not for me. I didn't love
Mhm.
it," and that's been a tough thing of not having a lot of control over the experience,
Mm.
and like even trying to communicate to some people like we are running this, but it's also not being totally organized by us. I think I
Yeah.
missed how much like even like very clearly like I only want them going to these restaurants. Like I'm not going to
Mm.
trust your team that hasn't been here to like select them off of what you've seen on Google Maps and ratings. Like even some of the good ratings places, like that's not it.
Mhm.
Um, trying to make that a little more customized, but I think it's such a huge resource,
Yeah.
and been an easy way to test that concept.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely tough when there's only six people at a table to be able to, you got 25 tables. How are you going to control,
I know.
and
You
that's
just need
where
one. You need one person that's kind of uncomfortable to be around to ruin the
that's
experience for everybody.
literally what I was about to say is like, and how are you going to control that? Right. I mean,
Oh no, yeah. It's
it's,
like I wasn't
uh,
even at that restaurant. Like we always are the group somewhere else, you know. So
yeah,
we're not
that's a
there
good
that
point.
night. So
It's good to be, I'm glad you said that. It's good to be realistic about how that can happen. Right. And I mean, that is just the
yeah,
reality, no matter where you are, what you do, somebody weird, somebody, putting two people
yeah,
together who just shouldn't be together, and you wouldn't know until it
yeah.
happens. And
You can't control the
you
chemistry.
can't.
Even and like the personality quiz is kind of neat. Like it's a like dialing that in could create a really cool experience. My brother-in-law actually went to one. Like he signed up for one and he went. So I was like, "Tell me what you think," and he loved it. Like he thought it
Mhm.
was super cool. Met some people. It made a lot of sense for him. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Nice. Quick reminder here about things that I can help you with. Number one is running meta ads. If you're struggling with that or want help with getting meta ads for local newsletter subscribers, check out my website at Local Media HQ, or you can email me at tj@localmediahq.com. Also, check out what we're doing as far as managing local newsletters for people or businesses who want to run local media brands in their community. I can help with that. And then finally, make sure you check out the software lightbreak.ai, where we are making newsletter creation very easy for local media people, as well as YouTubers or podcasters as well. That kind of accidentally turned into something that's insanely valuable. So if you're creating a podcast or a YouTube and you want to have a newsletter for it, we can do that extremely easily for you and make it beautiful and quality for your audience. So check us out, any of those places, and back to the show. Well, hey, let's talk about sales. So again, I think you're a great guy to talk to about this. Again, not only for yourself, you were doing it, now you're helping somebody else do it, and you guys have the other channels. So yeah, give some insight onto sales. This is everybody's biggest challenge. How were you doing it before? How are you thinking about it today? What's worked? What hasn't worked? Let's help everybody, including me, get better at sales here. What can you share with us?
Sure. I know Nick mentioned this as well, but I'll echo it. The agency relationships have been really huge for us.
Okay.
And so in particular, there's one agency here in Northwest Arkansas that handles the accounts for like one of the largest museums in the area, a kids museum, our largest like outdoor music amphitheater, and then have like random even like other connections and stuff. So just establishing a relationship with them and even telling them like, hey, like, here's your unique rate card. Like if you sell ads for all those people and just keep them, because they're typically not buying like annual packages all at once, but it's like a week doesn't go by without them reaching out and saying like, I got something for the momentary, or I got something for this group. And so it's like, that's just been a really helpful relationship to have, because it's given us a foot in the door with all of those advertising partners, and we only have like the one point of contact. Yeah. So, that's been a huge win. We did shift towards like our first stab at doing like an exclusive industry one is we had, I think it went like probably year 2 that I was doing this. This would have been like 2023 or so, or 2024. We had like 4 different banks advertising with us at various times. So that's where I went and said like, I think we could probably throw out like, or kind of like just dangle the carrot to a few of them. It's like, would you be interested in an exclusive partnership where you'd be the only bank? Mm-hmm. And it was kind of perfect. Of like, I had one conversation with one, she was like, I got to go run this by like all of like the execs, like up in this other state that she had to run some other marketing by, but then like went and did a follow-up in person with one of the other bank partners. And before I could even bring up the idea, just like saying like, hey, what would make this better for you? He was like, well, I'd love to be the only bank you advertise. And I was like, well,
guess what?
Let's do that. Yeah. Like what would that look like? And we were able to build out, that was our first ever like industry exclusive, like very large level. I think that was like our first stab at that was like a $30,000 package for annual, like very, very deep. And in getting creative, like that included like the in-person events, things of that nature, partnering with them beyond that, even helping supply a lot of like additional creative to that. If we're writing monthly, like long form blog posts that they can cross post to their site, but then we're helping drive traffic to it with our newsletter. So it's more of like the kind of that ethos. I know you even talked about it, like you're being really more of a marketing partner to somebody rather than just selling them an ad. And that's,
I love that.
Specifically, that example has kind of been like the highlight of my experience of like, oh, like I'm really glad that one worked. And I've tried to see that. I'm trying to think of even just some other like advice things. I've struggled with the like more service business in like service industry. That's been like even like looking at more of like home services, like plumbers, electricians, HVAC companies. It's been harder to partner or like find people that are willing to spend that. And I think probably because they just get a better bang for their buck doing the cost per click and like Google Ad search stuff. But always try to go after those, like especially some of the larger ones. Mm-hmm. We've done, it hasn't really been like a sale one, but like a totally different one was like the sports teams in our area, specifically like being in we're close to the college town. So we got the Razorbacks here, and being able to connect with them about like that. And we've been able to develop more of like both with them and other partners getting creative about where we can leverage like ticket swaps that we can do for giveaways, which kind of aids our growth. Mm-hmm. So say like when it comes to like the athletic like partnerships and like sports teams. It's the ticket trades have actually been really valuable for us in that sense.
You know what? Tell me about that because
Uh,
I thought about that a bunch. I there's so many opportunities and options in our space. It's easy to forget, but I had been thinking about that one a bunch last year or like 6, 12 months ago, and I kind of hadn't pursued it very much lately. Part of it was because it was hard to get in front of get in front of the right people, right? In our area, these are like bigger organizations, right? And I didn't pursue them super hard, so yeah, I hit one roadblock. I'm like, I'm done. But yeah, tell me that to me that does seem something really valuable is the giveaway angle for specifically for growth, like you're saying. So I guess you're saying you've had a lot of success with that, giving away Arkansas
yeah,
basketball
like
tickets and
the basketball tickets, the like football tickets. We'll get like volleyball, baseball, stuff like that. And so we usually work out a trade with them of like X amount of seats or like season passes. And then we're trying to, I think we're seeing a better use of it this way. In the past, what we've done is like a huge blowout giveaway at the beginning of the season of like, we're giving away season passes for like the whole season and like really hyping it up on Instagram and Facebook and driving a lot of like, you have to be subscribed to the newsletter to enter. And we'd see some big growths. And then probably year 3 of that, we're just like, it's not really clicking as much. I don't know if you follow Razorback football. We're really hoping for a good year this year.
Yeah.
Basketball's been nuts though, so that's been fun.
Okay.
And baseball is always awesome, always clicking. So, but we're trying this time of like instead of the season pass giveaway, just more like, hey, this game, we know these are going to be the 3 big games of the year, and like as a team, let's forego our chance to go to the game and leverage it for a giveaway, and that's been. Stringing out the giveaways instead of just hoping for one really big blowout one. I think it's been smarter.
Yeah.
But this is I need to connect you with another guy, and he recently offered to run this service for us because he's building a business. He's big in like a lot of like other newsletter spaces nationally, but is developing like a way to do like list intelligence and like let me run your list against some of these other ones and just identify like who are if we know from like other polls that those people have run, like who are the decision makers, marketers, leads, things like that. So he ran our whole list against his database, sent it back to us, and to be able to scroll through and realize like, oh, that person does subscribe, but like with their personal, if it even like can connect their profile and stuff. So knowing like, and I think it's like, it's again, this is like probably a repeated thing of just look at the people who are already subscribed. And if they like, if they're a reader, they're going to be more prone to, it's a lot easier sell because you already have a foot in the door. And, that was like cool just to know like, oh, like we could reach out to that person. Here's a way, like, can we now like facilitate an introduction knowing that person does read our email. So that might be a helpful tool to share with you, especially as he's continued to develop that. I found it really valuable. And even as I'm looking at like other business stuff to know like if that's like a business that I would like to talk to about maybe even serving their newsletter, knowing that they have context for what I've helped build with NWA Daily is going to offer some immediate credibility. So just kind of letting like, it's really boring, like reading through your list and seeing who's subscribed. You're like, oh, I didn't think about that partner. Like we gotta try to connect with them.
I love it. Yeah. Can you, when we're done, send me his info. I want to talk to him.
No,
maybe I'll have him on after I talk to him if this is a good thing for people to do.
He's fun.
Sure.
He's running some really cool stuff. He like even CPG, like real retail space, like news and things of that nature.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, that's what, again, I talked about this on the last episode with Shane, but with guys like us on the ground, being super creative, no hierarchy of, bosses telling you what you can and can't do, we're able to dig in the weeds and find these really creative concepts that can be really valuable. And I don't know, it's kind of exciting for me. So I'm glad, I like when you say that, because that's definitely a new concept. I want to learn about it. All right. Tell me about the Dine card. So everybody kind of talks about the Dine card thing. I haven't tried it. I mean, obviously I want to hear your take on the value. I think there's obviously pros to it. I think there's potentially a lot of cons, but again, I haven't done it. So it's just me guessing. Although I did just post about it this week on Twitter that my chamber posted in their email that they're doing their own Dine card type of thing, which I thought was super interesting and odd. So I don't know, maybe good or bad, I'm not sure, but I thought that was interesting. So it's definitely top of mind because of that. So tell me what you guys are doing there, or what you've done before, or what the plan is going forward.
For sure. Yeah. So we stole that play out of Michael Kaufman's playbook. It was the person we saw doing it. We're like, that's a great idea. Let's try it. It was a cool way to get to partner with restaurants who typically don't have a lot of marketing
Hmm.
spend. And so remember seeing, I think Michael did 10% off at most of his, and we were like, let's start at 20
Yeah,
and let's
yeah.
see
I
if we
feel
can
like
get a
go a
couple
little
people
higher.
to convince
Yeah.
it. It'd be a little higher. We actually, it was one of those things that like wanted to try, didn't have a lot of bandwidth for. For anybody that's in a college town like we are, see if like your local, like their business college has like an internship program. We hired an intern through the U of A, and we just told them initially like, your whole job is to try to do this dine card thing. Like you're going to go network with like restaurant owners. You're going to develop, like you're going to design it, and you're going to sell it. You're going to be the guy licking the stamps to send it, you know? And so he did everything, and we launched it. Our first year was 2025. We didn't get it off the ground until like probably late February, and yet it was still really successful. And we were able to like sell. I should have had those numbers ready.
Yeah, yeah, no worries.
We made several thousand off of it, like just as
Okay.
a concept.
And
And then
what were the
go
details
ahead.
of it? Just so it was, let's say on average 20% off discount. Was there like 10 or 20 restaurants, and
Yeah,
what'd
so
you
we
charge?
did.
What'd you charge?
Yeah, we did 10. So 10 restaurants offering a one-time 20% off discount. And so
Yeah.
like if you went, they would mark off that
Yeah.
you could use it one time. And we sold them for $30. And we would do discounts throughout the year, like as if we were doing like bulk discounts. We actually used like even like our advertising like newsletter of like if you want to buy some to like give away to your staff or like share with your
Mhm.
employees, we'll give you like kind of a corporate
Oh,
discount.
that's cool. I like that.
We did like date night specials, like even coming up like Tyler's been running like a cool discount for like Valentine's dates and trying to like connect it even to like our date night guide and trying to like filter that towards the dine card. Um, we as part of like the exchange too, it was like you'll be on the card every time we mention it. We'll also do like a specific like highlight of your restaurant on our socials and the newsletter, linking it back to, hey, if you like the call to action being if you want to get 20% off, go get one of the dine cards and then go check it out. So and then even as we got towards the end of the year where it's like you only got 2 months left, you're probably not going to make it till 10. We were like kind of flash selling them.
Mhm.
Tyler actually did a really creative thing recently that I thought was super fun. We had like a big snow forecast coming through, and his idea was let's do $1 off for every inch of snow we get. And so he kind of like called attention to it the week before of like, hey, it snows in the forecast. Keep an eye out on Monday's newsletter. Depending on what the average snowfall for the area was, we're going to discount that off the dine card. That saw some really good
Mhm.
sales out of that. So it's been a win for us. I definitely think we've seen a better success off of it this round because we launched it. We launched it before we launched it on Black Friday of 2025 ahead for the 2026 year,
Okay.
and we're able to get a lot of just the head start of that was huge.
Yeah. Yeah, that it probably people being more willing to spend around Christmas time, and maybe
You're gonna get the
maybe
whole
it could be
year.
a good gift, like
Great stocking stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's really good. Were you charging the businesses anything, or are they just needing to agree to a discount?
The restaurants that
Yeah.
like were on the card,
Yeah, yeah,
just
be
agreeing
willing
the
to do it.
discount.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I
Yeah.
mean that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
It's kind of made it like one of those like I feel like you'd be silly to say no
yeah.
to
Why
it.
would you say no? We have a huge audience.
if
We'll promote
it's a-
this for you. Like, just give a
Yeah.
discount that you probably would do anyway. Like,
Right.
yeah, I'm always
And it was
surprised
nice
that many don't do that.
running it like even 2 years in a row. Like some of the people last year that I was really hoping we would get on the card, and then they missed it. And we were like, hey, we capped it at 10. Like,
Yeah.
sorry. And
Yeah.
so we were able to follow up with them this year. Like, you want it on? Like, we're giving you first dibs if you want to be on it this year. Trying to cycle through and have totally new options.
Yeah.
Something that I'll credit him more on this. That Tyler, who just stepped into our director role for NWA Daily, has been trying to get off the ground is a coffee card. And
Yeah, I've heard
I've
people
talked
talking
to.
about that.
Oh, I was just talking to someone that's doing this, and she's in North Carolina, I think, or South Carolina, close near Charlotte, and kind of our like big idea was like if you could have it as like a like all year round, every time I go to the coffee shop, they'd give you the same discount, but do like a very limited amount of them. But that's been a harder sell with the
Mhm.
coffee shops, I think, just given their margins and
Mhm.
things of that nature. Something that Daniel has been playing with. I think I mentioned that he's kind of our tech guy. It came about because we were talking to I was talking to a car wash business about advertising, and they use what's like the Apple Wallet, like a digital version of the card. And he's been doing some research of like, is there a way you could sell this digitally and like put it in people's Apple Wallet instead of doing a physical card? And again, like we're not at the finish line on that, but I think it's just that like unlocked a whole new category for me. Like you can do like perks and discount cards and people can put it in their Apple Wallet. Like that would be awesome. And then they could just scan it or like show it. I don't know how it would like
The
maybe connect to
markup
like the
part
different like
would be
stuff.
interesting.
But yeah, but it was a fascinating idea of like if you could digitize this product, I think you would sell even more of them and have way less margins. Not that you're spending a ton on the cards now, but uh, it's interesting.
No, there's something there. I never thought about that either. Again, I do think about this issue a lot, though, when I think about what's possible with just discounts or deals in general, which is the unfortunate truth is that in local, the fact that most businesses are, relatively unsophisticated, they don't always have proper tools, they don't have proper tracking, that even if something just can be a home run idea that just makes total sense, it still may not work, not because it doesn't make sense technically, but because it's too difficult for them to manage. Right. And I just
Yeah,
worry about that because I've got some bigger ideas, much bigger than restaurants and whatnot. And it's like, it, it's not that it's not a good idea. It's just like, man, how these companies are just going to be like this. I can barely get my employees to, you know, wear the right clothes and not
yeah,
curse at customers. How am I going to get them to like track these things and make sure they're
yeah,
logging this and scratching that? And so I don't know. I haven't really gone down this road yet, other than just kind of using
yeah,
logic that I know as a former small business, well, technically current, but former small business owner with employees who it's just
yeah.
it's a challenge, right? So you got to keep that in mind
Like
when you're doing these things.
the instructions on the card have to be super clear because even like
Yeah,
I've used our dine card before I got in somewhere and they're like, employees like, what is this?
yeah,
And
yeah,
they're like, I'm
yep,
gonna talk to my manager real quick. I was like, no, like it's something we worked out with
yeah,
them. And
yeah, totally. I mean,
uh,
yeah. But sometimes just because it's hard, like just I like that you're just pursue it, just do it anyway, right? Push people to do it, and then figure it out later, right? Ready,
right.
fire, aim. Um, awesome. Well, Tab, what did I not ask you? I feel like you guys are doing such interesting things. You guys, you started really early too. You said, in 2020. I mean, I mean, you guys are one of the earliest people to be doing this. I mean, that's really cool. When did you come on again? By the way,
Yep.
they started in 2020.
Uh, they started 2020, late 2020. So kind of like early 2021 was like really when it started getting traction. I jumped in as a writer like mid 2022.
Okay. So still early, maybe not crazy early, but still
Yeah.
still early. So okay.
Yeah. I think we were probably around like 15,000, close to 20,000 subscribers whenever I came on. And
Okay.
so then we kind of like grown steadily since then.
Nice. Okay. Well, what are you excited about? Like what have I not asked you? What is something that you think people should know, or you're excited about the future, or
Hmm.
scared of? Maybe it doesn't have to be positive. Like what do you think that is interesting that people should know?
Yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah, sorry. Sometimes too broad here, but if you don't have anything, I mean, even just maybe here's a big one for you. Again, we already talked about the positive of the AI stuff in terms of I think that's
Yeah.
going to push so much of really of just life being more focused on local and what's around you and doing things in person, which is a massive win for us, I think.
Mhm.
But of course, there's going to be downsides, kind of obvious downsides, and maybe some non-obvious ones as well. Obviously,
Yeah.
risk of, is there just going to be too much content? Is email going to somehow get screwed up because of this? I don't know. How are
Right.
you thinking about that?
Yeah. No, that's kind of where my head was trending. So like, let's go there.
Yeah.
Like even the AI stuff of like content generation stuff. I feel like we're getting almost like redundant on that of like, I think people realize like there still has to be a person behind it. And like to whatever degree you're using Claude or ChatGPT to help you with your writing, it still has to feel human. And there still has to be like some pretty good scrutiny on like, what am I sending out and does it feel real?
Mm,
And so, but on that, but more actually, this is even kind of a recent one. As I've been prospecting potential clients for Shipstone Group and like helping other people launch their own newsletters. A question that's come up recently that I didn't really anticipate because I've been very big on like helping people even migrate their audiences to Beehive. I'm pretty transparent. That's my preferred platform. I really like what they're building. I think it's anybody that wants to monetize an audience and kind of in the creator economy, like Beehive's top pick. I think Substack has its place, but for most of the
agreed.
folks I'm talking to that need the tech, like the tech enablement of like automations and things of that nature,
And control. I think that's the other big
And
problem
control.
with Substack.
Yeah. It's yeah. And so I've seen how some people even link them together, but where I'm going with this is a guy said like, I can, with like, even with a lot of like the recent Claude stuff, like Opus 4, I'm getting the number wrong.
4.6
It's like,
now, and yes, it's insane.
4.6.
I've been playing it this week. It's wild, but go ahead.
It's crazy. But him saying like, can I just build my own platform? And I'm like, wait a minute, what? And that was a question I never saw. I didn't see coming at the time. I was like, no, man, like we should just like, let's not overcomplicate. Let's just go ahead and build it on Beehive or use what platform you're already on. But he's like, I'm thinking bigger than that. Like I want to build something that might even be replicable, and just SaaS businesses are going to have to deal with that. And I come at this more of like kind of the content space and like audience community building rather than the tech. It's an area that I'm honestly just not as proficient in. But it kind of opened up a category of like, I probably need to learn that and even understand like in helping people build their audiences, some people may want to go ahead and build their own tech infrastructure of how they want to deliver these. And I think that AI is going to make that possible in a way that it's going to make the tech stacking really different.
Well, it's funny you say that. Okay, couple thoughts, because you're right here. So number one, I am doing what you said, right? So I have my new software called Lightbreak, is literally what you're saying. Now, as of today, we are not sending emails, so you have to have Beehive or ConvertKit or something like that. But other than that, our software is basically, I mean, we think it's better than Beehive. I mean, in a lot, well, not for all use cases, but specifically for repurposing your existing content for legacy local media, especially where they're writing articles, journalists are writing articles. It's perfect for them. But so I've literally done what you said. We built our own infrastructure. It's incredible. It's shocking. We show it to people and they're just jaws are on the floor. Got some interesting calls coming up this week about that with big players. So yes, that is totally true. Now, the thing that we are looking into, to your point, again, I don't know if this is interesting to people, but the ESP angle, the actual sending of the emails, it is not difficult to do this, like at all. The question is less, are you capable of doing it? Is the system viable to be able to be delivering a large number of emails without any, I don't know all the details here, but without any issues of things going to spam, essentially. So you can go in and have AWS or Mailgun or whoever send your emails for you. It's just once you get to a certain scale, if you aren't doing things correctly, the whole thing can blow up. And I think that's why a lot of people use Beehive, even if they have the capability to have their own front end, is because whatever they do on the back end, that technical crap that I don't know.
You're paying for that. You're paying for they've got a team of builders that understand that element, and their whole job is to make sure that doesn't happen. So keep using their platform.
That's exactly right. Yep.
And and I think that's probably where we're at now. Like that's even been some of my not like objections to like what this guy in particular has been like talking about, but it's like I've been trying to like distinguish me. Like, am I just trying to like I want to use what I'm comfortable on, or am I like, or is this like actually practical of like, you're not just getting that in the subscription, like the platform, you're getting all of the other expertise behind the scenes stuff that I wouldn't even know to think about yet. And you might not either, but we're probably not far from even the agents being able to figure that out within the system that they're building,
it's a great point. So like, I guess my answer is somebody who's literally doing what you're saying.
Yeah. Like what are your thoughts on it?
It's incredible and difficult at the same time. So we've been working on this for 8 months and we're just now getting it out the door. We just now are fixing some of the issues, like just to get it to what Beehive can do in terms of like the builder, right? Like how you put a newsletter together, how the slash command works, what happens when you enter down, how you create a block that can be its own block versus another one. We had it 98% ready, but it's like that last 2% is just like, holy crap, is it hard to get these things right? And so while I guess my answer to your friend here is, it is definitely possible, but when you see these people on Twitter or whatever telling you in a week you can build this thing that's just gonna, you just replace this $1 billion software in a week, like if it's maybe one task, like if it does one thing, maybe, right, you can do that, right? But if you've got multiple moving parts, I mean, again, me and Shane, and we have a dev team, and like it's taken 8 months. And we're on the cutting edge of these tools. Like it's not that easy. It's just not. So now how will it be in 2020, late 2026, 2027? I mean, who knows? It's going so fast.
Yeah.
But no, it's not that easy. So I would tell him, play with it to see. But like, if you're trying to get in the weeds, I would say it's too hard. Also, just on the sending the email piece, I guess my point earlier about AI was, I don't know specifically, but is there going to be more agents, let's call it, right, trying to abuse the email system? Like think about people doing cold. So what I think is going to happen is, and this is where it could be good for us, is these email, Gmail, whatever the providers, they are going to make it even harder to get through the firewall, essentially, right? And so what that means is somebody like your guy or even us, like if we want to send our own emails, it's going to be even harder to get through. You're going to have the infrastructure that Beehive has or Substack has to be able to get through. You can't just half-ass vibe code something and think you're going to make it work, because they're probably going to get stricter on it. And it's already hard. It's going to get harder.
That is a good point.
Yeah. So long story. Long story there about all this, but
but it's cool, like knowing that like you're in that space, like you're thinking in the same way and coming up, and you're further along on that journey of like, and figuring out like, I didn't expect this hurdle and then that hurdle.
Oh my God, there's so many. There's so many hurdles, and it's infuriating.
Probably true of building anything.
Yeah. It's so fun because you'll make so much progress really quickly, and you'll be so excited, and then like something will just kind of break or stop it, and you just can't overcome it, and then it's just like, but I just made all this progress and now I'm going nowhere. I'm going backwards and you can't fix it. And then it can be a very frustrating experience, but I still urge people to play with it because it really is fun to see what you're able to do on your own. Right. And there's no more ideas. Like, don't go to people with ideas. Just at least build a template or a simple version instead of just talking about it. Just have it there. It's really fun. But yeah, that's my story. But yeah, everybody check out our system, Lightbreak, especially if you're trying to repurpose, which I know you guys probably aren't as much because you're creating content, but for people or creating it in the newsletter, right? Because are you guys doing full like articles on a website or anything, or is it just the newsletter?
Other than like keeping them posted online, like the newsletter itself gets published online, and then occasionally we'll do just like a web only article or something like that, or guides or features that then we'll condense and put out. But more of it is like we are more leaning towards like curating other news stories and then linking out to those other sites.
Okay, well then maybe we need to talk about it. I'll show it to you later. But yeah. Well, Tad, this has been amazing. Really appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, TJ.
What do you want to leave anybody with if you want anyone to contact you or check out what you guys are doing?
Yeah, absolutely. No, go check out NWA Daily. Then skipstonegroup.com is our if anybody does need help with writing support, or even just wants to pick brain about how to build something like this, do your own newsletter if you need support in that sense. And then I'm on LinkedIn, Thaddeus Moore, my proper name, and would love to connect with anybody. That's been like one of my favorite things that's come out of doing this, is just the friendships that have come with other people doing local newsletter stuff. As far away as like Idaho or New Jersey, and just the people doing newsletter stuff online are really cool. So it's been fun to connect with.
That is
would love to hear from people.
A great reason to do this is how many just awesome guys, super creative, I don't know. And
it's since we're local, like somebody says, like, we're not competing with each other.
No, exactly.
Like, so steal my ideas, and it's like, yeah, absolutely, let's try this. Or I know, like talking to Nick Landon Huslugs over in Wichita. He's been a guy I text about stuff too, and it's a fun community, man.
It really is. Yeah, no, that's great. Awesome, Tad. We'll appreciate it. We'll talk to you again soon. See ya.
Sounds good. See ya.